way through the draft, and it was the counter pick for SofM that didn't work out with that Nocturne. This time around, rinse and repeat so far. Looks like both teams are happy with how game one went, which I'm kind of surprised from Weibo's perspective.
Yeah, especially we'll have to see if they kind of fall into the bait that JDG left the last time, which was banning the Tryndamere, banning the Malphite in second rotation, and kind of baiting TheShy into that Jace pick so they can pull out the Scion. But JDG still hovering the Nautilus here, missing, more than likely going to take that. So we'll probably see On go over towards the Leona here in the next rotation. I mean, that's been working great. I mean, we're just handing back and forth the Ahri and the Veigar here, so nothing too surprising. I'm pretty sure we'll see the Leona here, and then now it gets spicy coming into the second draft phase, because we'll have to see what the game plan is going to be.
Yeah, the alternative is if you don't want to go for that support. I was going to say jungle, but it looks like they're taking the Kennen. Now, this has been a comfortable pick for both of these top laners. TheShy not playing it as much this split, but historically, I mean, we've all seen TheShy's Kennen historically, right? The Jace going to be banned away, so totally changing the way this top lane is going to function.
Yeah, gonna get rid of the Jace. I imagine something like the Graves, the Gnar as well. Just kind of getting rid of any of those picks that have that range that can play well into the Kennen. But we'll have to see exactly what the game plan is going to be. On JDG's side, now you're kind of scratching your head. You can see them caught out by how long they're taking on this to go like, right, well, I suppose we start to ban, do we ban away junglers? Because, I mean, Weibo are going to get first rotation in jungle. So instead, they're just like, look, we'll just ban away these supports and make sure that we're getting Hope and Missing set up well on this bottom side of the map.
That was my big thought, right? If they ban the supports, where does On go next? Because this Leona, the Nautilus, the Rakan have been some of his signatures, but that Thresh is still available as well. Alongside a Jinx, it's a perfectly strong pick, certainly. Could be a good option for Weibo, but it reduces their ability to have On as that primary engage tool.
Yeah, I'm really curious what 369 is going to play in this top side now, because I 100% agree, like, JDG banning these supports means that On is going to be less of a focus in the team fights, unless he just decides to go full Chad mode. I don't know if this is the best pick, though. It feels like you haven't got a huge amount of full-on. Yeah, I was going to say, I like the Tahm Kench. I think that works a lot better in this situation. Actually been an incredibly strong pick for On as well, so I think this is going to work out pretty well for the bot side of Weibo. Gives you a ton of opportunity to go forward and try and pressure this Aphelios without having too many issues. Also looking at JDG's Kanavi, looking at this Viego, it has been such a big pick and one that we haven't seen him go towards, but I think this could be the one that where you try to bring it out. Massive carry, a 9 KDA, and nearly 80% win rate, but he changes it at the last second for the Volibear. Oh, making me sad.
I had the stats lined up as well. I was ready to deliver all of the stats, and then it doesn't happen. But we do have a Lucian locked in here. That's going up to the top lane, up against the Kennen. 369, going back to his roots and being the carry once more.
So I didn't want to say it because he's only played it once, but did win when he played the Lucian the last time, and he ended up going 5-0-7 against BLG game 2, and it was such a big pick. So I'm super excited to see if 369 now can be the carry, and it feels like once more JDG kind of setting up a very different style of game from what we've seen from them in the regular split, trying to play through this like Kanavi missing engage and then a ton of damage backing up behind it for these team fights, especially with the Lucian here. It feels like you can punish TheShy on the top side. We're seeing SofM though go back towards the Z pick, so trying to see if when you have enough of these squishy members on JDG, can the assassin make things work?
Double assassins here for Weibo, right? With the Zed and the Ahri, and then you've got that Kennen from TheShy. It feels like, honestly, TheShy is the primary engage from the side of Weibo. He needs to find flanks with this kind of composition. And I love that we see 369 bringing out a carry and bringing out one of these bully top laners that TheShy is so well known for as well, right? TheShy's Lucian is legendary across the world. So 369 bringing that to him, trying to bully out that top lane. And when it matters the most as well. Remember, these two teams fighting for top 4 right now. Fighting for their right to play against RNG in that double elimination bracket. Fighting for a lifeline in playoffs as well. So feels like when they're pushed to it, these players start to bring out their signatures, their comfort picks, like this Zed jungle, like this Lucian top.
And especially for, you know, JDG, like this was a third place team in the LPL, and a team that towards the end of the split really started to rally themselves, like picking up wins against Victory 5, RNG, making sure, I mean, hell, even picking up wins over Weibo, like trying to make sure that they could end their season in style. Now they're coming in against Weibo 1-1. JDG will have to see if they can try and show why they got to that number 3 spot in the LPL, whereas Weibo trying to almost gain back that former glory from the split. Like, they were holding on to second place for so long in the split, but just falling at the finish line.
Okay, here we go. Everybody top lane. TheShy is not with the team right now as On steps in. Missing is going to be there. The full Fiesta in the top lane is On. Tries to flash away. SofM low on HP as well. On one auto attack away from going down. And there's first blood. Hope picks it up.
And JDG didn't invest any summoner spells from that. They were just able to get the tankiness that they needed to brute force their way through. Whereas when you look across On, now flashless, Kanavi could be eyeing up this bottom lane now to see if he can double down on the fact that Hope has got 2 long swords in his back pocket.
When is the last time you saw 2 full teams 5v5 1v1 in the LPL, Dagda? I genuinely can't remember the last time I saw that happen. But it's JDG that comes out on top. And as you say, double longsword start for Hope in that bottom side. That is really bad news for On and Huanfeng. This is not going to be a fun lane.
And all the emotes basically showing how people are feeling as Huanfeng kind of trolling On a little bit. But again, I think this is wonderful. Now, 369 kind of stepping up, getting some good damage onto TheShy. Like, you've got control of this top side of the map. You're now getting control for Hope and missing on the bottom side. Especially if Hope can get that early Gale Force. Like, this just changes this bot lane dynamic so much. And for JDG, who again, like, we talk about the dragon stacking for this team, having Hope with that advantage is so crucial.
On taking a bit of damage here. Remember, On, no summoner spells. That's going to be crucial in this bot 2v2. Because remember, game number 2, JDG found that 2v2 kill. In the laning phase, it was On that mispositioned. Now with no summoner spells straight from level 1, they're in danger of the same thing happening 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and especially with the changes to Jinx on this patch where she has less range level 1 and also the Qs cost more mana. Like, you're not getting the same sort of control just straight off the rip with the Jinx being able to outrange the Aphelios. So you've actually got to put yourself as a duo into a bit more harm's way to try and get that push. And that's why you can see right now it's not working.
Missing. It's beautiful. Exhaust is going to be used. There is no ignite. And that must have been 1 HP. I can't believe On escaped with that one. In the meantime, there's action in the top lane as well. Kanavi and SofM are both here. TheShy on 2 CS right now against 15. If the threat can happen from Kanavi, TheShy will be pushed so far behind in this lane. SofM wants to help, but can't leash too much XP for fear of putting TheShy even further behind, but just hovering here while Kanavi takes his camps in front of his face. SofM at least gets some of the smaller ones. And now a dive at the bottom side. It's going to be a knock-up, though. On to Hope. They're underneath the tower here. Missing, tanking up for the time being. Huanfeng trying to get the resets. There's one. He's excited, and Hope trying to escape. The ward into the bush. 2 more autos to do the trick, but Hope walking away here. Angel trying to move over, but Hope's got damage. He's a level up. He accidentally autos the plant instead, but he's behind enemy lines. There's no way out here for Hope. Huanfeng can keep him busy as Angel moves on over. This game is pure chaos, Dagda, as Hope goes for the solo dive, but it won't happen. Huanfeng gets the solo kill.
I mean, it's making the best of a bad situation there for Hope. Manages to get both the cleanse and the flash from Huanfeng as he goes underneath the tower, knowing that Angel was already on the roam. But we gotta get a replay. I'm pretty sure On baited them. I think On pretended that he reset. Yeah, just sat in the bush. JDG think that Huanfeng's on his own here. On with the mind games, manages to ensure the double kill for Weibo in that bottom lane. So, I mean, you end up trading 1 for 1 here, but getting that second kill for Weibo was crucial. So, already you can see On kind of thinking outside the box here to catch out JDG.
Goes for the Graviton, but a great cleanse flash out from Huanfeng to be able to dodge the final bit of damage. And as you say, beautifully done by On to set that bait up. And now look at the AD carries, right? We talked about the early kill for Hope. Well, Noon Quiver apiece. It's just about evened up. And sure, there's a CS advantage. There's definitely still a minor advantage in that bottom lane for Hope. But considering how far behind Huanfeng was before, he's going to be happy with the situation.
Yeah, I think the problem, though, is that the rest of the map is still falling behind for Weibo. Like, you look at that top side, that CS is disgustingly in favor of 369. And Kanavi's just kind of going, well, right, I am a bear. I don't care about your, you know, ninja skills. I am just going to maul you every time you show up in front of SofM. And Kanavi's just trying to make sure he can punish off of 369 and make sure that 369 can continue to play forward. And this feels, at least in this game, like JDG have gone, you know, screw this late game scaling. We want early action.
They certainly do. They're looking for the top lane once again. SofM here alongside TheShy. Desperate to protect TheShy. They've been playing topside consistently. There's a stun coming through from Yagao as SofM goes in to try and trade, but he's going to go down himself. No, 1 HP. It's Kanavi that falls. A great TP from Angel, and suddenly TheShy on the chase, looking for the stun onto 369. There it is, Angel. Can't finish the kill though. It is 369 to turn it around now. Angel 1 HP, trying to escape with his own life. Yagao looks for the Q, but the charm is there. Doesn't have the damage, and he's cold.
That level up for Yagao, or maybe Triumph, whatever that was, came in clutch there, because by God, he was so close to going down, as just about JDG able to turn that. But messy, but good from Weibo at the same time. Means it's all a bit all over the place. We'll have a look at the replay, because there were some great plays, there were some missed plays, there were some dire plays, but JDG will be the ones who come out on top.
Dagda, man, like, this is the kind of game that I love. It's pure chaos across the rift. It's JDG being as aggressive as they can be, finding their usual 6-minute Drake off the back of all of this action as well. But you can tell that double a limb is on the line. You can tell how much JDG wants it in this game. Now with a 1,000, almost 1,500 gold lead and a couple of carries. I mean, look at where the gold is for JDG. 369 has a kill. Yagao has a kill. 2 kills for Hope. They are sitting pretty.
Oh, I'm keeping my eyes on Angel, though. He's roaming up topside. TheShy has level 6 as well, and they know 369 has no flash, but Angel will just back away as 369 plays it safe. But I agree with you, Munch. I think for JDG, this is them taking, you know, taking off the gloves. They're like, hey, look, we want to go haymakers galore here. We want to make this into a slugfest. We've tried game 1 and game 2 playing it slow. Game 1 worked out, game 2 didn't. Now it's time to go back to basics for JDG, where they are playing this incredibly fast-paced game, this lethal tempo that we brought up at the start of the day. You know, kills galore, back and forth, and deaths coming in fast for JDG, but they're still just coming out on top, and that's the JDG way.
Certainly is, but that said, Weibo have plenty of early game power with this composition. Remember, we talked about the double assassins, we talked about the resets that come through in game number 1 with the Ahri and the Jinx combination. Like, when you start to win a fight, you really take over. It's so much of it's going to be around TheShy later on though, right? Finding a flank on this Kennen and being able to get those stuns, set the fight up for Angel and Huanfeng then to carry.
Yeah, one of the big things, though, about a Kennen is that you are somewhat reliant on items. Like, you have a really nice spike in the mid game, but you still need, like, the Hextech Protobelt. You still really want that Shadow Flame. And with how much TheShy has been denied, it's not going to be the best of spots for him to try and go for that. And even with the style that JDG have here, I wouldn't be surprised if 369 ends up playing a little bit more of a side lane game. So, trying to deny TheShy access.
SofM's going to be hooked in here, has to use the death mark. It doesn't even get to use the death mark. He's just wiped off the face of the earth. JDG very nicely played there, catching SofM with his pants around his ankles, and they'll be rewarded with a Herald.
And this is why I've been so impressed with JDG towards the end of the split. Like, we've kind of seen that, hey, look, you know, JDG have been struggling to find their identity at the start. But now you can see, like, Missing working well with Kanavi, Yagao as well, continuously going on these roams. It's working out beautifully for JDG, and Weibo are struggling to keep pace with this new JDG.
Missing wants to go for a dive here. On is around level 5 though. Doesn't have his ultimate available. TheShy uses the slice and maelstrom, but he's already gone. Deathmark onto Missing. Can they finish anyone? 369 the target, but SofM has to back away. Rocket isn't enough. Weibo just don't have the damage.
No, because SofM has kind of been put behind in these early stages with the attention that Kanavi's gotten, with the ability for 369 to already have that Hex Drinker. Like, you're not taking damage off the Tahm, Kench, or TheShy in most of these plays. And with 3 kills now for this Lucian, he's only going to get even worse as he starts to work towards his Gale Force now.
And we've been talking all series about this Lucian, or about 369 and how he's a changed man and he doesn't need to just play carries every game. Now we get the real carry game from 369. We get a bit of classic 369.
And it's been a long time coming. Like, when you look at, like, the amount of games that he's played on, like, quote-unquote, like, tanks. I'll even put Kennen into that category because I know a lot of LPL top laners think of Kennen as a bit of a pseudo-tank. Like, he's 13 games on Kennen, 5 games on Gragas, 3 on Sion, 2 on Malphite. Like, more than 60% of his games have been on these kind of tanks. Like, oh, it's just been all focus on this style of play from 369. Now that he's on the Lucian, it just feels like he's gotten loose. Like, he's like, finally, I get to bully. Finally, I get to show what I'm capable of. I am the carry, and he's showing why he was such a menace on his years on top esports.
And I love that in this matchup between 369 and TheShy, we do get to have a game like this, right? Where both players are on champions that can carry the game, are on champions that can show off individually. And yes, 369 having the early advantage, having more presence from the rest of his team. I'm going to hold that thought. No, I'm not. The anchor goes wide from missing, living up to his name as usual. But 369 bullying in the laning phase. Later on, it's going to be down to TheShy. Can he get those big slicing maelstroms that will turn the game around? Now a dive at the bottom side, Dagda. Hope tries to clear the wave, but I think Weibo will be fine.
Yeah, we should be able to get this turret plate in now at least as well. Kanavi has the ultimate, the Rift Herald, which is why they were playing so heavily down towards here. What plans?
Oh, hang on. That's going to be a knock-up onto Huanfeng as well. He did flash away on keeping himself safe. SofM onto the backline, trying to finish Hope off. But he just jumps away here. Rocket used. As the rest of the team trying to get things done, but TheShy, everyone just splits up. He can't get anything finished. It's going to be one apiece now. Both junglers going down, or in fact a top for a jungle. As the ward's being cleared, that's one thing for Weibo, but they can't seem to get onto anyone. Hope just gets one shot by Angel, and now SofM on the chase as well, missing, trying to escape. He might be able to get underneath this tower here, but Weibo, they do win out the play in terms of kills, but look at the gold difference, Dagda. It's all falling apart.
That's because 369 is getting this top lane turret. You've already got the plates that were hit on the bot lane as well. So even though Weibo respond, it isn't really coming up well for them. Like, you gained up 2 for 1. Maybe you will get the dragon as well, but from a goal perspective, JDG are coming out once more in the lead as on. Loving these TPs. Now may set up onto 369 with TheShy.
He's going to try, but he might just go down himself here. 369 takes a shuriken, but that's all he'll take. As he even goes back for a cheeky caster minion off the back of it. But look how JDG split up when TheShy goes for his ult.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really well played here by JDG to start things off, right? You end up getting the pick here onto SofM. Also, Yagao, like, best pest control I've seen. The rat ends up in the trap almost instantly, and it means that you don't really get as much damage as you need from TheShy, but just sheer numbers advantage does end up winning out here, especially as on kind of corralling JDG in here. I think JDG just have to commit to, like, walking past on here. Maybe you can trade 1 for 1 there, but unsure about how they wanted to try and get out of there with just the numbers advantage for Weibo.
This game has been such a strange one with the way that JDG are consistently just overloading one side of the map, right? We saw them do it top lane for the first half of the game. Now for the last couple of minutes, it's been JDG just sending 4 people down to this bottom lane to try and make things happen. But I'm loving that they're changing the way that Weibo has to play, right? This is not a team that is known for their early game prowess. And JDG in game number 3 is saying, look, the first 2 games of the series, we played it slow. It's worked out once, didn't work out the second time. We're not going to risk it again. We're going to go back to what got us so high up in the standings in the regular split and play fast, aggressive, mechanical gameplay.
And now we've got to see what Weibo had against EDG. Can they come back and find those picks? You're down 3,000 gold. You need to make it happen. That's why SofM's top, but JDG have reinforcements as well.
Missing moving over. SofM's in the... Missing's not having a good time with the anchors. His SofM will just
that
get
was
a little
blind.
bit of a trade.
That one was blind, all right? I can forgive him for that one.
That's the second time we've seen it where it's like right next to the guy that he's trying to hit, you know. SofM moving over. There's 4 people here from Weibo. Kanavi needs to be a little cautious not to go too aggressively up that river as SofM will try and get the control ward. TheShy, at least finally, will have the numbers advantage in one of these fights.
Yeah, you talk about JDG kind of overloading one side. It's really Weibo who are going above and beyond when it comes to numbers in opposite sides of the map. And it's actually leading to JDG being able to play through, you know, the advantage when it looks at, well, CS numbers, right? CS advantages across the board. Tower plates going in JDG's favor as well because Weibo are over-committing members to these side lanes. It's Weibo kind of looking uncomfortable about how many members they need to actually respond to this because we don't see them respond to these sort of plays very often. And it means that JDG are just winning out on map states.
just look at the difference between the top laners right now as well. Like, obviously, we talked about the gold lead, but it's a 2-level lead for 369 as well. TheShy's been denied so many minions across this game, so even if TheShy ever finishes a mythic item, which it's not looking good right now that he'll ever do that, he'll still be massively behind in statistics. You can see more Mortius was finished by 369 as his first item. Like, he's in such a comfortable position. Kanavi, we keep talking about how Kanavi likes to play through the priority that his lanes give him. Well, 369, he's got priority for days.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like JDG have just come in really well prepared for this series. We've kind of been looking at, like, you know, what's it going to be like between 369 and TheShy. In the regular split, TheShy was on tank duty. Didn't really get to see them pop off against each other. But in this series, JDG have come in with, like, game 1, trying to bait TheShy into that Jace pick. They pull out the Scion and they're like, right, we're going to play late game. Game 2, the KO pick didn't really work out, but still shows that JDG are trying to be creative in how they want to battle against TheShy on the top side. And now, getting this counter pick of the Lucian as well, giving 369 a ton of resources. It has been a very clear understanding of JDG that winning through top is how you beat Weibo in this series.
And a huge part of that puzzle as well that we've not really been talking about that much this series is Yagao, right? Like, this guy has regularly been criticized for just having the 2 picks in the LeBlanc and the Zoe, for not necessarily roaming enough out of mid lane, quite often just sitting still in that mid lane over the last couple of years. But it feels like he's massively widened his champion pool. He's so much more versatile of a player, but he's also so willing to just be a roaming mid now, to consistently gank for these side lanes. This game, it's been the 369 on the Veigar, and it just looks fantastic. It feels like JDG have such a clear identity now as Angel tries to make the play happen. Will find a charm that's missing, but he flashes out and he keeps himself safe.
Yeah, not quite able to get the anchor toss to get himself to safety, but will heal himself up off that fruit on the side. So still, you get the charge, you get the pressure here for JDG, and with 10 seconds to the dragon, JDG would love to try and find a pick, and maybe even trade the dragon for the tower, honestly, if Weibo aren't going to defend.
Yeah, I mean, JDG, I don't think they need to trade anything. I think they can take the dragon and the tower. Take the mid lane tower, go down, take the dragon as well. 369. Going to be trying to close some vision. I don't think he'll actually commit to that ward, though. He's very lonely as the rest of JDG go to the Drake. And, I mean, Weibo, it doesn't feel like there's much in the tank at this point. This feels very similar to game number 1, right? Where, well, hang on. Let me take that back. Because there's one thing we're forgetting. We're only 17 minutes and 35 seconds into the game. At the 20-minute mark, in fact, it was 22 minutes the last couple of games, Weibo found miraculous spice. I am not willing to count this team out until we're beyond the 22-minute mark. Once we get past that next Drake, then okay, we can talk about winning and losing. But until that moment happens, you can never count Weibo out.
You might need to check the canister. I think I can hear a little bit of a gas leak from the Hopium. But just make sure that it's, like, sealed properly. But either way, look, I think the big thing is you're seeing Weibo uncomfortable. Like, over-committing to sides. Not really sure, are we committing to Dragon? Are we committing to defending the mid lane turret? Like, this is a Weibo that are clearly uncomfortable in the style that JDG are making them play by needing Angel to respond to the pressure JDG are putting down. Having On trying to play this kind of, like, secondary jungle role so he can try and help out across the map. Like, you can see Weibo are not practice at this style, and it's JDG who are going, right, we know how to respond to this, because I mean, this has been what JDG's bread and butter has been since Hope joined the roster. So you just don't have it on Weibo's side to really know, like, what is an overcommitment of resources, what is less of a commitment of resources.
Well, you say that, but at least TheShy has finished his mythic now. He does exist as a player, so that's positive. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Weibo have been very much pushed out of their comfort zone so far. Not just in this game even, like in game number 1 as well, it feels like they were pushed out of their comfort zone. It feels like when you force Weibo, like on this red side, they've consistently gone for this like more proactive early game draft with the Ahri in the mid lane that you're trying to set up with alongside SofM, but it's not looked good. It's not worked out for them. But in the late game, they will have a Jinx, so at least there are some positives to talk about. There's a charm! Oh, Angel, that was gorgeous! SofM will be knocked up, but he flashes out to safety. The rest of the team here, 369, with big damage to turn it around. TheShy TP's in to defuse the play, but that was real nice from Angel.
And that's the picks that we talked about for Weibo. This is what got them back into that series against Edward Gaming, where they'd fall behind in the early stages, but consistently try and pick off EDG inside, look for people who are overextended, and Weibo are trying, but JDG respond well, get that kill back once more, and now they still have an AD carry in 369 to try and take this mid lane tier 2.
Yeah, Angel trying to split push up at the top side. Huanfeng gets caught though and just eradicate. I mean, where did he go? Yagao just one-shots at the Cullen from 369 as well. Easily done. And another hook! Weibo, you guys have got to be careful here. TheShy finds his chance though. Goes underneath the tower, clears the minion wave, and it means the JDG have to back away. They've lost one already. If they can shut down 369, it would be huge, but he just turns it around. Yagao and 369, they have so much damage to work with. Weibo way overestimating themselves.
The solo laners are popping off for JDG. 504 for 369, 404 for Yagao, and Weibo, they need to reconvene because they're just getting picked off right, left, and center. Hope now starting to step forward once more. Won't get the terror, but this was just overextension from Weibo. This pick, really well played here from Weibo. Just unfortunate SofM does end up spending that little bit too long underneath the tower, so he ends up getting picked off. But, I mean, here, it's just desperation from Weibo. They try to make the plays onto 369. On, you can see here, like, is doing a really good job of trying to keep like TheShy safe, which is, it's unfortunate he's not able to keep the Jinx safe because of the event horizon, but they're trying so desperately to go forward as they see JDG might have overextended, but 369 have to flash away. TheShy once more kind of put behind because of the early game, and then with On overcommitting, you're just playing into the hands of Yagao, who's able to consistently put down these event horizons and keep Weibo separated.
And, you know, it looked pretty, like, considering it was a 4v3, it was actually a pretty decent effort from Weibo until the moment where On goes forward at the end of the play, right? And that's when they've overcommitted. That's when they've gone too far. I respect that TheShy went with him. He's like, we're doing this together. But, yeah, wasn't the greatest of plays ultimately. And it does mean that now, oh, no, it's a hook onto SofM. He's been found out. Does jump to his shadow, though. Just about before the stun can come through. So he'll be fine. And honestly... So I was just going to say, I'm looking at Angel now. 4-1 on this Ahri. He's having a great game on the Ahri. The charms, he's been charming the enemies. He's been charming my heart. Like, I want to see Angel pop off in these fights. If he can find a pick onto Hope, then the Hope is still alive.
The problem is the 369. What's 5 plus 4? It's 9. He's only rolling 9s in this game. And now you've got to try and fight at the third dragon. And already JDG have control over this area. TheShy will be spotted out as he tries to come in. And as long as JDG stay separated like this, it's very hard for them to make the big fight happen.
And I don't think there's even going to be a contest here. Weibo, guys, that was 22 minutes. That was your moment. Here we go. SofM caught. Will be eaten by On. The Culling tanked up as well as Huanfeng takes a bit too much of that. TheShy is behind enemy lines here. No flash available, but has the proto belt. There's the ulti, but that's all it is. And he's just wiped off. As JDG maintain their control. Weibo, a vague attempt at a contest here, but it's going to be 3 of them going down. 369 is having the game of his split so far. 7, 0, and 4. A 60 CS lead, as well in that top lane, and now a Baron for JDG. They can do no wrong.
They should just be able to pick this one up for themselves. Angel's still sitting on the side, trying to see if maybe he can fish for something, but it's just not going to happen. Baron goes across, the dragon is there, and you can see Weibo are trying, but with TheShy set so far behind, his damage isn't quite there. And SofM, honestly, this Zed pick really hasn't worked out. It feels like he's just consistently getting caught out of position, and it's just not happening for anywhere on the top side of the map for Weibo.
Honestly, that death from TheShy, just tragic. Just tragic.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do. I mean, look, he had to make the attempt, right? He had to go for the fight. Really good answer from JDG. Missing, just sees him, and the ult does not have the damage on it just yet. And 369, after such a rough split, having the game of his split entire. I mean, it's not a big thing to say he's having the game of his split, honestly, with the split that he's had. Might be caught by SofM. There's not a lot of damage on that Zed, though. Look at his build.
Oh, missing.
This is, oh, missing. He has been caught. Weibo playing for the picks. This is the style that we talked about for them. At least they find one. I don't know if they can do much with it. 369 is on the top side, looking for a tier 2 right now, as the rest of JDG are buying time elsewhere. Angel can look for Hope, but there's a minion wave in the way, so they won't find the charm here, and Hope gets out with his Gale Force. There's a rocket, but it's not enough. The wave cleared in the mid lane, and JDG doing a really good job just to stop the damage, while 369 looks for an inhib tower. They've got to stop the ports. They need to stop the recalls. Huanfeng having to walk the entire way home. His 369 finishes the inhib tower, and he can walk away.
And bounties are up and available now for Weibo with the tower going down. JDG have pressure on this top side, and with 2.5 minutes until the dragon, it feels like you just continue to put pressure there as JDG. And when that dragon spawns, you can either trade second dragon for Weibo, not the end of the world, for an inhibitor on top side. Like, it gives you so much wiggle room here as JDG, and for Weibo, it feels like the door is closing. The game that we've seen so far has been a slow-paced one from JDG, but the second they turn up the tempo, Weibo just can't keep pace.
I mean, Dagda, you say the door is closing for Weibo. It feels like the door slammed shut in front of them, and they ran full pelt into it. Like, this game has been kind of disastrous for them. There's been so many moments where they nearly find the play, they nearly find the moment, and then JDG just batter them, or out-mechanic them, or out-maneuver them on the map. Like, JDG has played so immaculately. Yeah. 369 maybe caught here. There's the death mark. Flash comes out from 369. The charm is there. The rocket! And it's a shutdown into the pocket of Huanfeng. The best target for that shutdown gold. He immediately resets. I think he's got Infinity Edge.
Yeah, I mean, this is now going to be a bit of a messy one, because Weibo will get the pick. That's a massive gold bounty that's gone across. They get the mid lane tower, more gold going across. So, I mean, that's actually a pretty big swing for Weibo, especially since they, as you say, they got the gold onto Huanfeng. He's now at 3 items. So, JDG need to be a little bit more careful about how they're trying to push this game forward. Dragon in a minute will kind of be the decider, it feels like. But see here, like, JDG, or sorry, 369, knows that there's so many people here. Like, SofM's able to come off the flank, Angel's able to flash and follow him. Like, just disrespectful for how quickly Weibo can close that distance.
Yeah, and 369 used 3 different dashes there. He used his E, he used his Gale Force, he used his Flash. We were against the Zed and an Ahri. They got plenty of dashes of their own. There is no escape. That fight went from the tier 2 all the way into the jungle near the river. This
is where 369 now agrees with AD carry needs buffs. This is where he joins that conversation. But we'll have to see if he will actually need it, because Weibo now sitting in river. They're trying to see if they can get flanks off. Again, TheShy having this Void Staff complete is actually a pretty big win. That should add a good chunk of damage to him. So we'll have to see if Weibo can get the team fight. They need to get on Hope and 369. Those are the big carries right now.
Both teams are really squishy as well. Huanfeng on 3 items on this Jinx is a good win condition, but this Soul is crucial. JDG, if they can get the smite, they'll get themselves Ocean Soul. In goes SofM, and he steals it as well. Now Weibo looking for the fight. Angel backing away. Moonlight Vigil, not quite enough to finish the kill. And Weibo, if they can just escape. Oh, the Galoprum, so close. Hope trying to make it happen, but just can't quite finish it.
Yeah, JDG trying to see if they can force Weibo to take the long way home, but haven't quite been able to do so, which means they can't go for mid lane turret either. So, nice win for Weibo. Nobody goes down, they get the dragon, you don't get pressure from JDG anywhere else on the map. That's almost the best situation you could have asked for there.
Certainly is, but look at JDG playing sneaky in the brushes. Angel not really the best target, although he doesn't have his ult available. And JDG, I don't think will find anything, but maybe they're just going to race for the top inhib. I'm not sure. I think they were hoping for a pick. It ain't going to happen. Zap is there. Huanfeng, missing actually flashes away. The rocket goes wide. So JDG don't lose anything off of this play just yet.
Bounties are now off for Weibo, though. They managed to get themselves back into this. I mean, 4,000 golds. Still a substantial lead for JDG, but as he talked about, you know, like 3.5 items for Huanfeng. This Kennen now starting to get into a position where he's relevant, and even Ahri with the Rabadon's death cap. You've got to be so careful as JDG. It's not just as easy as it has been prior to this, and it feels like JDG starting to slow down, starting to question how they want to try and push this game forward when they have the ability to play with 369, but trying to make these pick plays happen is kind of giving the tempo over to Weibo and giving them control of the map.
And once again, Angel has been one of the biggest orchestrators of this comeback, right? Finding so many pivotal charms across the course of this game that have led to these kills. We saw the one from Raptors onto Hope earlier on, then finding 369 in the mid lane with that CC. Really, really great game coming out from Angel on the Ahri, and we need to see it converted now. Weibo, it felt like they were pretty much out of this game. I can't believe it's as close as it has been as Huanfeng zaps on. I don't know if that's a personal feud or a misclick, but I'm going to just assume, for the sake of drama, it was a personal feud.
I still think JDG are ahead. They just need to be careful how they approach it because they've been taking it so slow. But they're just going to start the Baron and it's gone. Weibo don't even get in.
Here's how you approach it, Dagda. You just take Baron for free with no contest. Now Weibo have to do something, surely. They have to answer this. They can't let the Baron just go down for nothing. Zap onto missing. Maybe a chance. Flame Chompers to deny any counter-engage. Another great charm from Angel, but nobody can get onto it. Nobody can follow up. TheShy can't find a flank. JDG, I mean, it's literally daylight robbery. They just walk away with a Baron for nothing.
And a big old cheesy wave as they walk away as well, knowing that they got away with that scot-free. And especially the fact that Missing didn't go down. I mean, this is a Nautilus who just burnt his flash. Weibo were trying to see if they could find any sort of pick on him, but not able to do so. And now 369 can get himself situated in this top lane once more. He's got some decent vision on this top side of the map as well, so he's actually able to start pushing in and threaten on towards that inhibitor turret. Sorry, that exposed inhibitor. And if you've got a minute 50 until Dragon, I mean, he just puts pressure there, TP's down to the bot side, and you've got to make sure that you've got someone to answer this Lucian if you're on Weibo's side.
Dagda, a minute 38 seconds, and we're gonna have a 5v5, aren't we? Look at the items across the board, right? Huanfeng 4 item AD carry, probably the same story for Hope by the time that Dragon comes up onto the map as well. We've got Angel and Yagao both stacking up the damage. Yagao actually on 10 stacks of his Medjais currently. If he can have a good fight, that'll turn into more as well. But it's all about 369 for the side of JDG. And TheShy, not having the greatest game of his life, it has to be said. 0-5 so far on the Kennen, and yet to have that impactful of an ult. But Hope has maybe been caught. Angel can't find the damage though. He just got 1v1'd by Hope. He at least burnt the flash, but in the meantime, JDG have set themselves up with a fast track into the bottom lane. They've got Baroned up minions. This might be an inhib tower.
It should be the inhib going down. Weibo not in a position to defend, and now they can start to squeeze themselves into the base. They need to be careful though, because this is where TheShy is dangerous, when you're grouped up in these corridors and you can see SofM threatening on the side.
Inhib taken down, and Weibo don't find their engage. We said before, we need flanks from TheShy. That's the only way that Weibo can start fights, and it just has not happened whatsoever. Not even just flanks haven't happened, like nothing has happened from TheShy this game.
I will say though that JDG haven't actually cleared out the vision very well for Weibo. You didn't have the sweeper available for Missing or Kanavi as they were sitting on this top side, so Weibo now have a free route into the river, and JDG may not realize that they've been caught out.
Yeah, but have they? Because it might be SofM that's caught out. Deathmark is now. Oh, Hope is gone! All hope is gone for JDG as Weibo find themselves a pick. Kanavi the next target as SofM gets himself out to safety. Kanavi will survive though. One pick, nothing more. A zap comes on through. Now Dragon started by Weibo. Kanavi has flash, has smite, wants to get himself this Ocean Soul, but he's tanking the Drake in the back of the pit. He's been zapped as well. Missing finds the engage onto Angel. Kanavi trying to do the Drake in the mid. Huanfeng, what are you doing? He walks straight into the culling, and that is disaster for Weibo. Huanfeng with a blunder of the century, and Weibo fall to pieces.
Yeah, hope might have been gone for JDG, but not all hope was lost, because 369 is still a monster. This Lucian is taking over, and you can see the TP now from Angel to get back to the base, but On is going to fall to another culling from JDG.
Oh. Well, Angel's found a constellation prize. Yagao somehow getting solo killed in the meantime. It's 18-11. This game has been chaos for most of it, especially the early game. But JDG have risen to the top of the pile. They've shown that even though they're not notorious for the chaos, they can live in it. Back in 2020, those games against top esports, pure chaos from start to finish. This is a squad that's more than happy to take those fights. 10-1-4. If 369 doesn't get MVP for this game, I will eat my hat. There's just no way. Absolute masterclass here from JDG.
I mean, look, it's been a funky game, but I think that's the beauty of JDG, right? Oh, hang on, Kanavi might get caught, but Yeah, this is the beauty of JDG. Like, yes, they can have games like this. Yes, they can have the bonkers games that we had in 2020 with them in the finals against top esports. But Yagao also holds the record for the longest ever first blood. It took the longest time for Yagao to pick it up at 33 minutes in FPX in that same year. So JDG have both with different styles. And this one is where Weibo, they try to punish the fact again that the vision hadn't been cleared out from JDG. Weibo had a direct line into the river that they knew was clear, but with 369 coming back in, having that culling, that's all that JDG needed. And it got dodgy, like Kanavi nearly dies in the pit, but Huanfeng, as you said, blasted by the culling this whole time.
He had flash. He just genuinely didn't even notice that he was currently getting railed. That is a disastrous mistake from Huanfeng. Like, that is really, really bad. And now another calling coming on through. On, happy to tank it. They will be fine. They'll be able to keep themselves alive, but for how long, right? Double supers in every single lane. SofM could be caught. Needs to rejoin the rest of his team. Needs to get into the base. They will have the fountain, but against an Ocean Soul, you don't even have the battle of attrition that you would usually have from fighting in the base. JDG want to finish things off. Tower is disabled by Kanavi as he goes forward, uses his Sonyas. There's an Infernum as well across the whole team. Knock up onto Angel. No kills just yet. SofM behind enemy lines, but it doesn't matter. Angel's already gone. Huanfeng the next target with 369 forced into GA, but the Nexus is bare. JDG will finish off game number 3 and push themselves to match point.
And a brilliant game from JDG with a very different style than what we expected. 369 going back towards the tanks. Or sorry, getting away from the tanks, going back towards the carries and setting himself up on the Lucian to be that mainstay carry for this team. I mean, monstrous performance from 369. Not only in lane and pushing back TheShy, but in team fights as well. This Lucian just took over.
Yeah, 369 having an insane game. And that early game was so chaotic as well. Yeah. Like, the fact that JDG were able to clamber that lead together off of the sheer chaos. Like, we saw dives bot, we saw many dives top. TheShy really having a hard time. And SofM was trying to help him, but it felt like consistently the numbers advantage was there for JDG. Like, Yagao playing that early game and missing as well. Really, really well.
And it feels now that you're going to be stuck for Weibo. Because this is now where you're going, right, well, you know, on red side, we were hoping that we'd be able to blind pick this Kennen. There wouldn't be any responses from JDG, but now with the Lucian being a factor as well, you can no longer leave this counter pick for the jungle, which is what SofM has been trying desperately to do. You now have to go and blind pick your jungler. Probably take him in this first rotation to ensure yourself something nice, because TheShy really needs this blind pick on red side. It's just been too many games now that JDG have been able to outclass our Weibo when it comes to the draft. So we'll have to see what Weibo will be able to bring back to the drawing board. But as you say, for JDG, like, thriving in the chaos of these early stages, moving with Yagao and Kanavi to take over the top side of the map to ensure 369 success. And you see it there, nearly 28,000 damage for 369.
It does feel like a bit of a back and forth between the top laners, right? TheShy getting MVP last game on his Nara and doing crazy damage. This time is 369 taking over, and his team fights were beautiful. Again, massive blunder late on into the game from Huanfeng. If he doesn't misstep there, I think this game could have ended very differently, or at least would still be going on right now, because that was just a terrible error to be made. I feel like I'm really laying it on thick, but he just walked into the culling and didn't notice. I don't really know what else to take away from that one. But JDG, phenomenal start. They're managing to get 2v2s in the bottom lane, managing to pull off amazing dives up in the top side, and then the control of the map during the mid game and during the late game has been immaculate in both game number 1 and game number 3 now. We'll see if they can keep that rolling, though, because we have a 4th game. And so far, Dagda, blue side's winning every single game of the series.
Yep, blue side has kind of been in control here, and I think a lot of that is kind of coming down to the changes that we've seen in draft from both sides, depending on what side they're on. So when we look at Weibo, like the red side, they're willing to, when they were on blue side, you could end up seeing them banning away a lot of these AD carries and kind of putting a bit of an uncomfortable situation for JDG in the draft, where they're kind of dictating the pace of the draft a little bit more as to like what can and can't be picked in certain rotations. And we'll have to see if coming back into game number 4, whether that can be the case once more for Weibo and they can push us to that game 5.